All right, at least I got chat now right where I can see it right under the camera. So actually, when I'm reading, kind of looks like I'm addressing you guys. So that works out. And now let's get rid of this error message over here. So the wood grain background for thirds. Let's see if I can figure out where the hell this should be. So what happened is I tried to reorganize some things and it moved around, and so now I'm trying to figure out where I put it. So it should be in common assets somewhere. Go to images. Is it backgrounds? Wood grain background for thirds. Okay, there we go. So what we're going to do tonight is kind of go through some of the footage that I've already filmed for this leaf bag holder. Shit, I wish I had thought to make a little diagram. Isn't there a draw program on here? Spell draw. I mean, I guess I could use paint. Yeah, sure, we'll use paint. So the gist of this leaf bag holder is a very simple design. But what it is, it's basically a big circle, another circle underneath, and then it's connected by 3 legs at various points. And you can put your lawn bag right here in the center of it, and it'll hold it up and all that. But the key part is this bottom portion is large enough for when you're done, you can just unclip the... oh yeah, there, I should have said there are some little clips that go and hold it onto the upper ring. But once you take those clips off, you can just lift that bag holder right up over the bag. You don't have to try and manhandle the bag, or finagle the bag, I should say, out from in between the pipes. That's one of the things I've seen that's problematic with some of the current lawn bags on the market. But anyway, so tonight we're going to be looking at some of the footage of this. This is going to be made out of PVC. And I mean, it's a pretty straightforward build, pretty inexpensive, I believe. All in all, with the so all I needed were the T-fittings for the PVC that go into each of the joints, so 6 of those. And then we're going to have one really long piece for the top there, one longer piece for the bottom, and then 3 equidistant pieces for each of these legs. And, I mean, I believe everything all in all was about $12 when I went and got it from the big box store. So, you know, Big Orange, Big Blue, if either of you want to sponsor me, just feel free to reach out to getintheshop@gmail.com and let me know. And then I'll actually tell people where I've been getting the stuff. Or if you want to give me affiliate links, I'll start posting that in there. But, yeah, and the clips. So this poorly rendered version is... It's just basically a little metal clip that is typically used for holding in, like, light bulbs into fluorescent fittings. But it works perfectly for clamping over about a 1/2 inch piece of PVC, and then you just have a little string that's tied, that knotted right here, and comes in, and we will actually take it in the leg pipe. We'll drill a hole, thread that string through, and then on the back end, knot it back there, so they can dangle, as you won't lose them, but they'll be able to clip. What's going to be really great about these is they're also going to allow us to tie everything together for storage and clip on the legs so that everything stays in one bundle. But anyway, so that's the gist of what the end product is going to be. And so now we are looking at some of the footage. As you can see, I got started on this, and as you can see from the beard, this was started many moons ago. Actually, this was probably in the beginning of fall, so maybe September or October. See if we can find a date on this raw footage here. So that's another thing we can kind of talk about is the organizational strategy that I have as far as my projects. So let's look and see what we have on properties here. Yeah, so end of November is when I filmed this, so it's been several months. So I found out the reason it's been so long is I started having pains in my lower left side, and they were killing me. They were debilitating. They'd come on for absolutely no reason. Nothing I could see, nothing I'd done. It felt like I had pulled a muscle, but they just wouldn't go away. And slowly it dawned on me that this had come on when I started drinking the new formulation of Coke Zero, which, I mean, say what you will about sodas and all that, but really enjoyed Cokes. Coke Zero switched their formulation somewhere around September, and by the time, October, November was rolling around, you could no longer find the old formulation on the shelves. So I had switched over to the new. And apparently I was just having some kind of allergic reaction to it because it was causing me some kind of inflammation that was hurting. And so once I realized what the source was, I cut out Cook Zero completely. And I figured while I was doing that, I'd cut way back on my caffeine consumption because I don't drink coffee. I only drink sodas. And, even though I've had a nutritionist tell me that, diet sodas aren't that bad for you, I figured it's better off to just go ahead and switch over to water. And so I maybe have 2, maybe 3 sodas a week now. Like I had one tonight just because I was dragging bad and I needed the caffeine to kind of jolt me. But that's the great thing about cutting back on caffeine is it starts doing what we all intend for it to do again, which is to give us that jolt to keep us awake. So anyway, all that being said, wow, I just rambled, and I guess I'm kind of a little bit pumped because of the caffeine. But yeah, all that being said, cut out the sodas for the most part, got drinking water again, all that cleared up, so now I'm ready to start hitting this stuff running. Fortunately, I do have some decent footage, so that's what we're going to do, is we're going to kind of watch through what I've got already on the timeline here, watch through this video, see where we're at with that. I've already got some ideas of some edits and some things I want to change, so let me see if we have anybody joining us yet. Nope. Already got some ideas of some things I want to change, some additions I want to make. So we'll see how that goes. I might just put some placeholders into the system. So yeah, let's see where we are here. We'll go ahead and watch this, and then we'll start watching through the individual clips and organizing the. Oh, I was going to talk about my organizational strategy. So the way I've got this set up, in my video projects folder, I have this 00 project template, and what I'm doing is each year is going to be considered a season, and I'm just going to do it, month. So January to December would be season 1 of 2022, and and then I'm going to number my episodes, or each video that I put out. And so this project template starts off, numerical dash project template. And then each inside, I'm going to have my A-roll footage. A-roll is basically your talking head footage, the stuff like, what I'm doing right now that tells the main line of the story. The B-roll footage, which is your supporting footage, which are things like, the cutaway scenes where I'm going to, zoom in on, say, chopping down some of the PVC or, some of the other stuff that is more supportive of the story and makes it more interesting, gives a better holistic picture than just boring me talking directly to you guys. So, basically, my webcam here would be our A-roll, and the rest of the screen would be the B-roll. And that this live stream actually really demonstrates pretty well how important B-roll footage is, because as you can see, the majority of the real estate is given to, the activity, the action, as opposed to just me talking about the action. But yeah, so don't have anything in these folders because we'll fill those as we go. Then we have assets. Assets are basically everything else. I just want a place to organize. Documents are here. This is where I'm going to put things like if I have any outlines to the project, if I end up writing a complete script, knock on wood, I end up getting some sponsors, sponsor provided content that sponsor provided documentation that I have to use, and actually that might end up going into a new folder. So we'll go ahead and add that. We'll just go ahead and add a sponsor info. And now, from now on, when I create a new project, I'll have a sponsor info folder. Boop. Oh, hey, Whit. Hang on, let me see. Alrighty, so. Hang on, let me see if I can. Privacy unlisted. What the hell? Oh, shit. Let me make this play. Well, that explains why nobody was joining. All right, let's see. See if anybody jumps in here. Anyway, you got images, just any photos I'm going to put in there. Like I decided to to keep. Let me see if it's. We're gonna take a look real quick and see out on the actual. Booba-dooba-doop. Where am I at here? All right, let me grab a new creator. Go to my website. Let's move this over here, and let's see. Anybody? Hey, Dark Naga, man, appreciate it, Kevin. Thank you. Appreciate you subbing, brother. All right, let's see if this is actually out here now. Yeah, it looks like it. We got one watching, and that's probably me. Or did Whitney? Did you get in here? Let me see. I'm going to refresh here. Nope, just me. Oh, shit, and I'm still using the test icon. Man, I got to fix that. Oh, shit, and I'm still using the test. Close that. I'll do that. Let's see. Let me... Doop, doop, doop. Content. Live. See, I'm still trying to figure all this stuff out, guys. I'm not... Change this to live streaming Monday, Thursday. Save that. Okay. Hopefully that will update in the live version. Let's see. All right. Okay. Stream elements. No, I don't need you right now. Let me close you down. Got so much going on here, guys. I'm just way behind the curve. Getting ahead of myself, trying to figure out what the hell I'm doing here. Hey, Whitney, you made it in. Good. Sorry about that, dear. Thank you very much for pointing that out. See, this is why I need friends in here to let me know that oops, you've screwed something up. But because you were there, you made me realize that I had this listed as unlisted, which means nobody could get into it. At least if I put it as private, I could have sent you a link. But yeah, it's me. No, it's you. But yeah, and then I also realized that I had my test thumbnail still added, so I had to update that. So thank you very much, dear. Appreciate that. But anyway, what I was just kind of talking about was the organizational strategy that I have as far as projects go. So kind of rolling back since you're here, I appreciate it, dear. I'm excited to have you. It's good to have actually somebody to chat with and kind of work back and forth on the on actually a live person instead of all the spam bots that typically jump into these things. But so whenever I'm going to create a new project, and I apologize for the VOD that I've already talked about this, but you know what? Whitney's more important than some recording that I can probably edit out later if I decide to. But anyway, so I've got this project template that I use. Inside of there, I've got A-roll footage, which A-roll is the talking head footage, the stuff that tells the stuff that's the vocalization of the story. We've got B-roll footage, which is supporting details, which is the supporting detail. You know, things like, you know, when you cut to a scene. If you're watching a news story and they're interviewing somebody, and then they cut to the scene that further describes the details of what they're talking about. That's your B-roll footage. And then I've got a collection of assets, and those assets are going to roll from everything from my different audio files I'm going to input, whether it's the background music, whether it's sound effects to really influence, really nail stuff home, or documents, which could be like the script of a video if I write it, or just a general outline, my scene shooting, so I know what scenes I'm looking for, so I can get an idea of where the camera placement is going to be. Trying to get more organized with this stuff, a little more professional, so that maybe it'll make it a little easier to film some of this stuff. If I'm going to drop images in on a video, I'm going to add them into this images folder. And knock on wood, eventually I'm hoping to have some sponsorships for some of these things. So I'll need to put in sponsor info, you know, like the actual text they want me to say, any interstitials there that they provide, logos, things like that for them. So just trying to plan ahead on that. But anyway, that being what it is, we are now looking at this this video for the lawn bag stand that I've already started. I started it a while back. We looked at some of the previous files, and I was filming this at the end of November, but for one reason or another, which I've already explained, and I'll tell you about it in private with, one reason or another that I've already explained, you know, I just never completed the filming, so I've still got some stuff to do, which probably means the beard is going to have to go, because as you can see, I was not exactly clean shaven in this video, but I did not have the scruffiness. I mean, on the other hand, I may just say screw it and go ahead and film, and you know, it'll just be obvious that it was filmed at 2 separate times. But so let me see, what was I going to talk about? Oh, And just to show you, Whitney, what this is, and let me see if anybody else has joined yet. See if it's nope, just the two of us, which is perfectly fine by me. All right, so where'd my paint go? So what I'm doing here is building a yard bag stand, like a leaf bag stand. It's basically going to be two circles, one over the other, that are supported by. Now that's what I'm getting into. Good, that are supported by legs. And so what they are is you can put your bag in that, so that way it holds it open for you, so that it doesn't fall. You're not constantly struggling with it. It's just such a pain in the butt. I appreciate it. Yeah. Hopefully that it won't be a big deal. I mean, I've got some decent footage, and we're gonna watch that here in a minute, kind of, because like I said, it's been months, so we'll see where I'm at. But the gist of it is this top circle is just large enough, maybe a little bit smaller, for the bag to fold over the top of it. But the key is this bottom circle is wider than the full bag. So when you're ready to close the bag up, you can just lift that stand off and not have to try and struggle to pull the bag free. That's one of the things I've seen with most of the stands that are out there on the market, is that they're like triangular or rectangular shaped, and the bag can get wedged in there real easy. So we had one of these when I was growing up, and it was some kind of market that or some kind of product that we bought, but I can't find them on the market, so I figured, screw it, I'll make one. And so really what I was saying is this only needed 6 T fittings and a couple long segments of PVC, and then 3 equal length segments. So I think the entire thing cost me like less than $12 at the box store. So that's good. And then I also got some clips that are just metal clips that are made for like attaching lighting fixture, fluorescent light bulbs to fixtures. But they're the perfect size to, when you attach them with like a little string into one of these things, they can clip right over this this 1/2-inch PVC and will hold the bag in place so it doesn't slip out. But like when you overstuff your yeah. Well, I mean, you could put one of these in the kitchen if you really wanted to, but I don't know. I don't think Tara would be too happy with me if I did that. Although at least then we'd have no excuses for why we leave stuff sitting out just because we're slobs. But anyway. So we're going to start off looking at this footage. Probably seeing. I know I've got some spots where I want to put in some things. I've already kind of thought about it, so I might add just a blank placeholder until I can get some other stuff filmed. Rather. Are you drawing freehand with your mouse, or you have any? No, I'm using my mouse. That's why it looks like garbage. Yeah. No, I do not have a Wacom tablet or anything like that. That was just all mousy and me. All right, so let's see. All right, so I guess let's go ahead and get started watching this, and we'll see where we are. And welcome, Belladea, to the premiere. Nah, I doubt that very seriously, but thank you very much, Whitney. Oop. Where is my audio? Do I have that muted or something? There's audio. Yeah, it was. Audio was muted. That's not going to work. Okay, let's make sure I've got my channels here turned on so I can hear. Background. Oh, yeah, because I got to fill again. Okay. Yep. All right, so let's...
So before we get started with our...
Shit. That was loud. Our build, because lawn bags can vary in size, we want to take a few measurements to make sure that the bag is going to fit the stand that we build. Originally, I thought I'd try to be slick and extrapolate the stand size from the size of an empty bag. But then I realized I was way overcomplicating things, and the best, most efficient, and most accurate way would probably be just to measure a full bag. So to make that happen, first we're going to need a pile of leaves. Then we're going to need to put those leaves in a bag. So what we're looking to get out of this are the circumference, diameter, and height of a full bag. The overall height of the stand should be about as tall as the full bag, maybe slightly taller, but we want to make sure we leave enough of the bag so that we can wrap it around the top ring of the stand. And we'll want the bottom ring of our stand to be a little larger than the bag circumference, say about 3 inches, and the top ring to be a little bit smaller, say about 6 to 9 inches. Alright, so now we know what size our stand is going to be. We can start getting together our materials and our supplies. So what you're going to need are a couple long sections of 1/2-inch PVC pipe. I've got 2 10-footers here, 6 1/2-inch T-fittings, a tape measure and something to mark the pipe with, something to cut the pipe with. I'm going to use a Sawzall, and a bag of play sand and some blue painter's tape. So we need to cut our PVC to size. We're going to take the circumference measurements we got earlier and divide each of them by 3 to get the approximate lengths for the segments of our top and our bottom rings. Bear in mind that the T-fittings that we're going to join everything together with will add an inch or 2 to our final circumference. This is perfect for the bottom ring because we want that to be larger so the bag can easily slip in and out. But we will have to account for that in the upper ring to make sure that the bag can still fold over the top. After that, we can cut another 3 pieces at the height of the full bag for our legs. Because the top ring is narrower than the bottom, the legs will be at a slight angle. This will compensate for the extra length added by the T's. Alright, so that's the footage that I've got so far. One thing I'm noticing right off the bat is this last section where I'm just showing the table with all the items is long and boring, and I need to put some other footage in there or something. Maybe just I can initially talk about what I need, and then after a few seconds, I've got some footage of actually cutting the material. I'll put that in there and overlay that. So we'll see. Let me see where the audio. Make sure I can. Is that already? So what I'm doing here, and okay, good. I had to double check to make sure that I was actually showing my screen this time and not just the talking head camera. All right, so yeah, whenever you drag footage into a video editor, the audio and the video comes in at the same time, and it's linked up so that it's all synced, so you can't screw it up. But in certain circumstances, you may want to unlink it so that you can still have the audio of what you're saying going, but you don't necessarily need that video. So we'll probably end up cutting some of this straight out. But let me see where my cut point needs to be. We're getting together our materials and our supplies. So what you're going to need are a couple long sections of 1/2-inch PVC pipe. I've got 2 10-footers here, 6 1/2-inch T-fittings, a tape measure and something to mark the pipe with, something to cut the pipe with. I'm going to use a Sawzall. Alright, so right here, where I say I'm going to use a Sawzall, I am definitely going to put a cut. So we're going to hit C for to get our cut tool. And the cut tools, the different tools that you can use are also right here along the line of the editor. And you'll know you're in the right place when your line turns red. So now we can just slice that, hit V to get our select tool, and this stuff I'm going to move up to a different channel. That I'm just going to turn the visibility off on that because I'm not going to want to use any of that, but I do want to keep it in here just in case I decide later that I need to cut back to it, or I want some more details. But I'm going to need to, let's see, let me add a new track in. Okay, good. And trying to remember how. Okay, we'll just add some text up here that just says. We need to change. So we got all of our little features for changing information are over here in this little lower left-hand window. But I want a colored text that's actually going to stand out against that background. So, neat. How did you learn how to do the video editing? The same way I learned a lot of stuff. It's called blowing shit up. No, I found this program called HitFilm Express, which the Express version is the free version. So this is a 100% free program that you can go out and download on your own. And I just started watching some YouTube videos and playing around with it, and it's been kind of a fun experience. So I am by no means an expert. I couldn't even say that I am that I could get a job as an editor because I'm still not good at it. But give me a year or so, and we'll see how it goes. But I've learned a lot about doing things that they call like L edits and J edits and all that, which is where you're going to overhang video with the audio and vice versa, so that a lot of times you'll have a scene where, like, as the video is playing, you hear the voice of, say, the guy in the background before it cuts to the picture of them. That's called an L edit because the audio the video overhangs the audio, and so it looks like an L when you're doing the edits. Let me see if I've got any samples of that in here. Nah, not really. I mean, that could be considered. I guess this is kind of where let's just be throwing in the lower third there. With our build, because lawn bags can vary in size, we want to why does that turn on? So before we get started with our build, because lawn bags can vary in size, we want to take a few. Yeah. I don't know why I even put that in there. I guess I'm just playing with if you know, you know. But I'll have to figure that out. Okay, let's go back. Oh, that's why. Yeah, honestly, I need additional screens for doing this right because it takes up so much real estate. But let's see, I should so I turned the video off on, yeah, because this was on the main line. OTS, what was I talking about? Then this needs to be up here. And I turned the video off on that. That was the problem. Let me run my audio channels down here a little bit. And now I can scroll down and we can get back to where we were at. So here's my text line. I'm going to move that up here to this, and so I'm gonna call this like it's not really visual effects, but we'll just call it the text line. Text/thirds. So this first thing that we're in here, and I don't know if you know the terminology or whatnot. So before we get started with our build, because lawn bags have variant where this pops in, this is called a lower third because that's typically where it appears in the edit. And so those are like, all of those things you see that pop up with people's names, just little other information. So we'll just put all that in one line, so that way it's kind of separate. But the gist is you have your main footage down here on your primary line, and then and the layers work just like you would expect as they're laid out here. Whatever is on top is literally a layer on top of another one. So it's a lot like Photoshop or any other photo editing tool. So let's see. So let me get back to into here, and I'm gonna put a sound effect. Why is that so light? I must have so I've already got white on here. I must have the opacity down low or something. Regular. I don't know where. See, as I said, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, so I'm trying to play around with this. Center that. Yeah. And actually, I don't even use Photoshop. I'm using all open source stuff, so I edit my videos with HitFilm Express. I need any photo editing I need to do, I use GIMP. If I want a vector graphic so that it's easily scalable, I'm using Inkscape, which is another free version. For creating like thumbnails and banners and things like that, there's a product called Canva, Canva.com. That it's free to use. They do have a pro version, but the free version's decent, and it's got everything you pretty much need to quickly create and use and make some templates for things like thumbnails or whatnot. Then there's some other tools that I found, and we can. Let me see. So there's remove.bg, which is great for if you have a photo of, say, of me or whatever. This is how I made the thumbnails. Is I just went out and I filmed a couple videos. When you're actually cutting the scene, you can go up here to export and export a single frame of your video and use that, and it can export as a PNG image. And then you can use that as a still. You take it, you put it in remove BG, and it can extract everything. It can extract, the subject, extract me, so that I don't have to sit there and spend 30 minutes doing a pathing trace around it inside of GIMP or Photoshop to cut out the background. So it automatically does that 90%. Sometimes it'll leave a couple of effects, but those are usually pretty easy to go in and adjust. But yeah, I mean, there are a lot of free tools out there that are great. I even found a one that will do that remove background thing to a GIF, because all a GIF is just a series. Well, actually, all video is a series of still images that are just strung together. This will automatically remove the backgrounds and GIFs, and it does a pretty decent job. And then I also found an MP3 cutter, so I can get sound effects and things. If I have a longer sound effect, I can go out and I can just take a little segment of it so that it fits in. A couple of things I'm still looking for is something to be able to do clips of of videos and things. One of the things I really want to do in here, and I don't know if you've seen the Hudsucker Proxy, but it's a Tim Robbins film where he plays a guy who gets hired in the mailroom, and the board of directors decides they want to hire a patsy as the president of the company, and they hire him because he's just kind of a milquetoast nobody, and he basically invents the hula hoop, and he's got this funny scene that I want to cut in. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna throw it in here just so I don't get a DMCA or anything. But basically, he's got a picture of his invention, and it's just a circle, and he shows it to the guy, and he goes, for kids. Like it explains the entire thing, and I really, because this thing is concentric circles, I thought that'd be just perfect. Like, when I say, so the top is a circle, and then maybe cut to that or something, and it shows Tim Robbins holding up the picture of a circle. So anyway, there's also another part in there that says, "Would an idiot come up with this?" So now let me. Whoop! Shit! What did I just do? Cancel that. I'm not editing the stream. I don't know what I'm doing. All right, so back over to here. So sound effects. So what I think I want. Let me see what I did here. Yep, I did that. Let me get rid of this. Goodbye. Back over to text. So, what sound effects of maybe like crashing glass? Haven't seen the Black Picture, Rob? Yeah. It's a really, really funny movie. I'm actually trying to find a copy of it now just because I want to own it on DVD. I used to have it, but that was many, many moons ago, and then my house got robbed, or my apartment got robbed, and all they took were they took all of my DVDs, they took a laptop that didn't work anymore anyway, and they took my motorcycle helmet, but ironically the keys were in the motorcycle helmet, and the motorcycle was parked outside, but they left the keys in the motorcycle. So, whatever. Yeah. At least I've still got the bike, which actually the bike featured prominently, well, not so prominently, but was featured in the previous video. So yeah, bastages. That's right. Yeah, it's okay. People are going to be dickheads. You just can't really do much about it. So anyway, what I'm thinking is when I mentioned that I'm going to use the reciprocating saw for cutting the pipe, I'm going to have this like a kind of a screech and the sound of crashing glass. Yeah, that's to really lay home well, hang on, wait a second, because it turns out I didn't use that because the reciprocating saw just kind of jumped all over the place and made it a bitch to try and do it because I didn't secure the clamp, PVC pipe really well. So, well, the bike has not run in about 13 years, so it's probably in completely defunct shape. So I'll have to go ahead and I've been talking about wanting to get it fixed for years, but every time I go to talk to the local motorcycle shop that's in the area, they've closed or they've relocated or something. So I just have never gotten it done. But it might actually cost more than the bike is worth to get it fixed. So I might just sell it for scrap, or I think I've got a buddy who might be interested in it because he's a mechanic and he wants to revamp a bike anyway. So maybe he'll take it off my hands real cheap, and then maybe I'll get a new one at some point. But you got to make sure that you tell the boss lady that I should have a motorcycle. Okay. So cut to brain fart. Well, I guess I don't really need to cut to it because I can just go ahead and drop it in. So we'll go back to media here and let's see, into video. I don't like how I've got that organized, but that's okay. I'm not going to rearrange everything. That's one of the things I found with editing is I'm still trying to find my style. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do with, or how I want to organize things, what I want to do with the technical side of things. So I honestly wouldn't mind moving up to Colorado, but unfortunately that means I'd have to sell the house, and the same reason you can't move down here. My mom is here, and so I really don't want to leave her. She moved from Louisville, Kentucky to Memphis just to kind of be with the family, so it's kind of But we definitely are planning to try and do a visit soon. Well, I say soon, but when we can. We need to get the hell out of town for a vacation, and we'd love to come see you. So, no pressure. I mean, we'll work it out with you before we do anything. So, all right. So, line bag stand. So, I also have this footage in here for all the raw video that I haven't placed in, because right now I don't have anything in my A-roll or B-roll things. So let's see. Let's see where we're at with the raw footage. All right. So. Start to get the chops out. I've got a really bad glare here, so I'm not real happy with that. But we've got a bunch of different videos of cutting. So, appreciate it, dear. Yeah, my mom moved here back in, we went down and got her on New Year's Day of 2019, I think. And, or maybe it was 2019, something like that. And she moved in with my brother and sister-in-law for a little while they were while she was trying to find a house. And now she has a house out in one of the suburbs called Cordova. And she really likes it. It's a nice little 3-bedroom. It's not too much for her, but she's got plenty of room for a guest room and her crafting room and all that. And, her neighborhood is great. Her neighbors are fantastic. We've hung out with them. And every time I go there, she puts me to work, or one of her neighbors wants me to do something. So, yeah, it was perfect timing for to avoid the pandemic and all. Yeah, and also because of the pandemic and the housing boost and all that, her house has jumped in value, astronomically. So she bought it at a good time. So let's see here. What am I at here? All right. So what we're going to do is we are going to take these videos. I mean, we could just watch them in an editor here, or we'll just, I don't know. We'll just go ahead and grab them all. Fuck it. We will take these videos. We will create a new folder in here. Call it, Chop Saw for right now. And let me get that. And then we will just drag and drop all these videos into Chop Saw. And now my computer will have a hissy fit while it attempts to move everything in. It looks like I moved it all in pretty quickly. Good. Alright, so now that we've got that in there, now what we'll do is we will scroll to the very end of our timeline. This is going to go in the OTS. I think OTS stood for like over the shoulder or something like that. I don't remember what the hell I was thinking. Then I've got the talking head stuff right there. So yeah, that must be what it is. So OTS is basically what I was referring to as my B-roll. And the talking head is what we were talking about as the A-roll footage. So I'll try and get some things, cohesive. So yeah. Okay, sorry. I was just thinking about how I wanted to do this, and we'll work on that in a minute. So let me go ahead and go all the way over to here. This is going to be considered B-roll footage. So we'll scroll over a little bit, and we'll start dropping stuff in and start reviewing it. So we'll just drag and drop it onto my B-roll timeline, and we'll see how this take went. Probably shitty, but that's okay because I've got so many others. But it doesn't look like it's very long, so that's okay. Yeah, the glare is going to kill me. I'm going to have to get rid of that. Or I probably can't use this because of that. Yeah, so that was a dumb idea. The Sawzall chewed up the PVC pretty well because it jumped around like crazy. I wish one of you guys would have stopped me. Anyway. Actually, I kind of like that. I hate the glare. So that was a dumb idea. So let's... Alright, so we'll go back to cut. We will slice that. And as you can see, I left these linked that you can see by the little, reminds me of SQL was that the operational data store? I've never actually worked with that. I've never done much with data warehousing. Although right now I'm working with, at work, I'm dealing with some Power BI stuff, which is the Microsoft version of like Tableau and data visualization. Doesn't interfere with the main subject of the frames. I'm not sure what... It doesn't interfere with the main subject of the frames? What do you mean? And by the way, there's about a 3 to 5 second lag between real time and the video appearing on YouTube's. So let me see if there's anybody else in here yet. Nope, just 2 of us. The glare. Oh. Yeah, the glare doesn't really interfere with me, but still, it looks kind of shitty. Later on in the video, I realized that it was problematic, and so I actually took a couple of sawhorses and a big 4x8 sheet of 1/4-inch plywood and used that as kind of like a light break to keep the direct sunlight off of the camera, to keep the glare off. But hindsight's 20/20 and whatnot. So what am I trying to say here? Anyway, okay, so as you can see, these are still linked, so when I did a cut to one, it cut both, because we don't need the audio from both. So let's see where we're at here. Yeah, so that was a dumb idea. The Sawzall chewed up the PVC pretty well because it jumped around like crazy. I wish one of you guys would have stopped me. Anyway. Yeah, that was an awkward twirl. I'm not going to worry about that. Yeah, so the Sawzall, bad idea. It chewed up the end of the PVC because it was jumping around so much. So instead, I'm going to break out the trusty old miter saw here. Alright, so let's see. Trusty old miter saw here. So we will go ahead and move back like a single frame or two. Go to cut, and we can definitely cut off that tail end. Where I'm gonna, because all that's going to be me walking back towards the camera. To stop the film, so we can definitely cut that out. Now I've just got to decide. And all right, Whit, I need your opinion. Which one do you like better, camera 1 or camera 2? Yeah, so that was a dumb idea. The Sawzall chewed up the PVC pretty well because it jumped around like crazy. I wish one of you guys would have stopped me. Anyway. Yeah, so the Sawzall, bad idea. It chewed up the end of the PVC because it was jumping around so much. So instead, I'm going to break out the trusty old miter saw here. What do you think? The first half or the second half? I'm putting this all on you, so that way, if it crashes and burns, it's your fault. If you weren't paying attention, that's fine. Just, let's see. You guys want to stop me? Anyway. Okay, so that should be doing frame back. Why is it not frame backing? Oh, because I'm hitting the wrong thing. Yeah, that's kind of what I like. That little tink, kind of a nice little touch there. So. I think we're in agreement that I'm going to keep the second one. So, but it's okay. I mean, if I want it, I can always go back and grab that the first version or whatever. But I don't think so. So we're gonna drop that. Yeah. So the salt. Yeah. So let's see. Okay. So I got the part. That's what I need. That's what I'm forgetting. I should be looking. So what I need to do is I need to look here in my audio track to see where I'm starting to speak, and that's usually going to be a good cut point. Is give me just a little bit of a second or two before that. So now we cut that. Go to V to select it and get rid of that. And so now we have from the very beginning. Yeah, so the Sawzall, bad idea. It chewed up the end of the PVC because it was jumping around so much. So instead, I'm going to break out the trusty old miter saw here. All right, so let me do that. And so page up, page down, we'll jump. Page up, we'll jump to the first part of each clip. Page down, we'll jump to the back part. So that's good. And actually, I'm going to stretch this out a little bit so that half-inch T-fittings. I have a tape measure and something to mark the pipe with, something to cut the pipe with. I'm going to use a Sawzall and a bag of play sand and some blue painter's tape. So we need to cut. Okay, so a tape measure and a bag, something to cut the pipe with. I'm going to use a Sawzall. Yep, nope, I can't stretch that out. I forgot that that's going to do that because it's not just grabbing the image; it's also grabbing the audio. Okay, yeah. So let me cut the audio here. We will go to the V tool to select it, and we will scooch all that out. And now I should be able to stretch that. And you know what? We're going to go ahead and we're going to find a. We're going to go to the YouTube Creator Studio here. A little look behind the scenes. Go to the audio library, and we're going to see if they have anything for crashing glass or something. Car screech is what we need first. Okay, see what we have for tires. Nope. Why the hell is... Oh, I need to go to sound effects, that's why. What tires rolling on gravel, tire squeal. Let's see what. Nope, that's not what I needed. So Screech? Nope, nothing. Okay, so trying to remember where. Let's see. Where was I going for audio? So we will. Let me. So we'll leave it over here, and we will show the search. What's Twitch notifying me about now? Oh, okay. Apparently, my buddy Chris is live right now too. So, don't leave me, but make sure you check out Hat Dragon on Twitch. Buddy Chris, who actually you remember Chris from the wedding, Whitney? Yeah, he was married to Jess, but yeah, he's streaming video games now. I think he's playing Tiny Tina's Wonderland, that Borderland game. So let's see what we can find as far as let's go sound effects. I remember I found some good sites. I just can't remember what the hell they were. Epidemic Sound is not a free one. I think Mixkit might have been okay. Let's see. Let's see what we got here in tires. So all of the yeah, unfortunately, all these green ones are like you got to pay thing. There used to be some. Let me go back. There used to be free ones on here, like the artlist.io. Oh, to Chris? Yeah. Hang on, let me Twitch. Yeah, I'll pop it here in the chat. I think he's on. Said he went live, but we've just got a spinning wheel. But anyway, yeah, go give him a sub. He'd appreciate that. Let's see. Tires screech. That one might work. We'll see. I'm looking at the. I'm also looking at the pattern here to see what that. If it looks good. So, I don't care about that. 2 years ago. Hey, you should. It's no big deal. I mean, if you're gonna be playing anyways, just go ahead. I mean, look at what I'm doing here, just with video editing. I mean, yeah, it's not garnering a whole lot of traffic or anything like that, but I'm going to be sitting here freaking doing this anyway. I might as well, stream and get to talk to friends, One of the things I plan on doing in the future is maybe I've got a Discord that I'm setting up. So maybe I'll have, guests call in or something like that, and we'll chit-chat while I'm going through and doing this stuff. Let's see. Yeah, that's already not sounding very good. Yep. I don't know why that's in here for a tire screech. Nope. That's more like what I'm looking for right there. Let's go back here and listen to this one again. Yeah, that doesn't really... This one sounds synthetic. It doesn't sound real. Yeah, see, that's one of the things I mentioned on Facebook, is after watching the video a few times, not your shame and all that, is I really missed the opportunity when I was walking from the middle part. When I was walking from the house the workshop to the shed. That should have been a kind of vlog style on me talking. I would have had the opportunity to say, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell, that type of crap. But also engage the audience by saying, hey, in the comments down below, tell me about something. Tell me about one of your shames. Or now that I've shared my shame, now I'm sharing my shame. Why don't you share yours with me and tell me in the comments below, when something like that, to try and get a little bit of audience participation. Not that I think I've got maybe 100 people who've watched it now, or 100 views. I don't know, but see, where is that at? Go ahead and look. Yeah, I'm at 94 views, but yeah, it's not doing so well. People are cutting out on average at about 2 minutes in, 2 minutes of the 5 minutes. So that's okay. I kind of figured that it wasn't going to be interesting to people who didn't actually know me, and maybe not even to most of them, because it's the first video and it was a learning experience. So, but yeah, for future videos, that's what this is all about, is learning and growing, and that's why I was asking you guys that did watch it to give me feedback, both positive and negative, because if I don't, I may not see things myself, or I may be overly critical, but you guys can be a great resource to help me, like, hey, that wasn't very good, you shouldn't use that, or that part was great. So anyway, yeah, I'm not rushing to build up viewership. I mean, I would love to get monetized as soon as possible, but as you on the stream, actually, I think it should show. Let me see where it is. Yeah, that I've got that sub goal for the channel of 100 subs right now, so that I can get the custom URL, so I can get youtube.com/getintheshop instead of the hexadecimal, or actually not even hexadecimal, just the randomized lettering afterwards. And then the next stage, I don't know if I'm going to do an in-between, or just go ahead and set a goal for 1,000 subs so that I can get to monetization. So, oh, for when I'm filming, yeah, I'm thinking I might go ahead, and since I'm starting to really actually do this, I'm going to go ahead and buy a lavalier mic. One of the things I was using was, I was initially trying, before I started using the iPhone for filming, I was trying to record on an iPhone as well, like had it in my back pocket, and used a set of the headphones that I cut the headbuds off of, and had the that's up really high. I just realized that the camera is up pretty high. That I cut the earbuds off of, and just had the little speaker part, and then I hot glued or super glued a little clip to the back of it, and kind of made my own lav. But trying to sync up the audio to the video was problematic. I'm still learning about that. I know it has to do with the frequency that the camera records audio at versus the frequency that the phone was recording at, and I've just got to figure out how to get that synced. So right now I've just been using a singular device, but if I get a lav mic, typically I can get a wireless one, and I can hook a little receiver up to the recording camera, and the lav mic will transmit to the camera and automatically sync all that stuff up for me. So that would be a nice thing. And as far as noise canceling goes, hang on. I did get one of the little fuzzy things from Rode, so good quality, like fuzzy thing for the camera, but and the word I was looking for was windbreak. Yes, windbreak. I think it was windbreak. Anyway, oh well. So let's see here. Back to tire speed. See, that doesn't sound realistic to me. It's all so even tone. Let's see. Maybe you make these videos using your phone. Yeah, I mean, it really is crazy that. Yeah, I always laugh now about how our math teachers told us back in the past, you need to learn this because you won't have a calculator with you everywhere you go. Joke's on you. But yeah, I mean, now we've got cameras, video. It's crazy what all we've got packed in these little suckers, huh? All right, starting to get a little thirsty here. Long braking tires, car. Okay, let's see. Actually, that might be perfect in and of itself. Let me download. Oh shit! I thought I had that. Let me download yesterday, you sons of bitches. Oh well, I guess that was a free one. So we'll go with a freesound.org, and we'll start all over here looking for our tire screech sounds. Tire screech. Yeah, that is sad. Tire squeaking, screeching, tire. Nope, that's not what I meant. I don't think, Bella. I don't think you can post. Yeah, that was it. I don't think you can post links. I've got it. I've got that shut off, so that way bots don't come in here and try and post like go look at kitty porn or anything like that. But just DM it to me if you would on Facebook, and I'll take a look here in a second. Yeah, this is terrible. Let me. While I'm saying that, let me go ahead and open Facebook here. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. Got the Facebook open. Oh, there it is. Thank you, dear. Let's see here. Free sound effects. Sounds good. Appreciate it. Let's see, where's the download MP3? Show in filter. Cut that. Go to video projects, to our template, to our assets, to the audio and the sound effects. Drop that in there to be organized and shite. Minimize that. Grab that and drop it into sound effects. Move it over. Get rid of our, our interstitial there. Grab the audio. Oh, you still downloading? Come on, what's going on here? Oh, the audio has to go down here in an audio track, doesn't it? Haha. Here. 6 half-inch T-fittings, a tape measure, and something to mark the pipe with, something to cut the pipe with. I'm going to use a Sawzall. I might want to start that just a little. So one of the things I might want to do, okay, is move that in. Is a Sawzall. Yeah, it's not really. The audio is not really working the way I was hoping. I'm going to use a Sawzall. Let's see if we also can get that glass breakage there. Where was that? That was... Oop. Let's see what we can do here. Up and up and up. Partners in Rhyme. Okay, let's go back to their main site. Royalty-free music. Let's see if they have glass shatter. Oop, that was not the right thing, was it? Okay, so... Glass shatter. Try it again. Yeah, shit. This is just doing an ad loop, isn't it? Try one more time. Maybe I'm just clicking on the wrong thing. No, it's doing a fucking Google search. How do you get to the actual sounds though? Like free sound effects, maybe? Let's see what we got here. Nope, still doing the same bullshit. Okay, we'll see here what we can have. General sound effects. Door sound, weird, blah, 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 blah. Horror, scary stuff. Do we have anything for, like, ghost, hell, wicked, scream, monster, splats, witch? That's cool. This is a cool site. That's some good, good sound effects, though. Fight sound, scream. Oh, you did a direct Google search? Okay, thank you, dear. Let's see. General sound effects. Okay, war, gunshots, no. Household sounds. That sounds like, you know, window breaking or glass breaking might be a household sound. Matches oven, phone, fire extinguisher, ice, keys, switch, tape. I'm not seeing anything that says break, or whatever. At this point, I might just go record the audio of me breaking something just to have it. But yeah, this is a lot of what editing comes down to, is just going out and searching for exactly what you want and trying to make it happen. Let's see here. Okay. I'm going to leave that one behind for right now. Did you find one in a Google search? Boop. Clicking it on the wrong thing is story blocks, huh? Sounds good. Let's see. Move that over here so everybody else can see. Where is the download? So glass shattered debris spread. Oh, there's the sound effects. Where's the download button for that? Oh, sign up to download. I'm not. Oh, sorry, I'm not going to sign up for them. Yeah, because they're going to charge for it. Yeah. So let me see what we can find on that other site first, and then we'll go back and see. Nope, not the right thing. Breaking glass. Let's see here. That was way soft. Give me something with a little more oomph. That was definitely not a little more oomph. I mean, you know the audio that I'm looking for. That nice crisp shatter. All right, let's see here. I like that first one, but it was really quiet. I can probably crank up the audio a little bit on that, though. Oh, again, log into download. Man, I know I found a great sound effects thing before. I wish I knew what the damn thing was. I mean, I had all sorts of stuff. All right, so here we go. I mean, that's like right what I was thinking. No, this one. Let's see if it lets me download it. No, I don't want a premium download. I just want a regular download. Downloads an MP3. Register to download. Oh, god damn it. How much are you trying to charge? Premium only cheaper. So in other words, you're trying to charge. I click on join video, and you're not even going to tell me how much the pricing is. That does not bode well. Okay, ba-ba-da-ba-dup. Free sound effects, glass break. Go back to Artlist, see if they have anything. Oh no, that was the one that wanted. Never mind. Splice. I may have to go back and do it. I'm just kind of. Did we already try Mix Kit? Yeah, that was the really crappy one. Yeah, this is the one that I can actually. These gray ones, though, I can download for free. So. What the hell? Yeah, that's the thing I don't like about this is it doesn't have anything. Oh, I wish I could remember what that SFX... Zapsplat sounds familiar. Only available to gold members. Nope. No. Let's see if it will give me actually what I want here. Yeah, we'll grab that one. Oh, if I wasn't live, I would say some things right now. You know, I'm just screw it. I'll come back to it later. I'm just frustrated with this now. So now we will grab this and move it into position, and let's see how this works. Half-inch PVC pipe. I've got two 10-footers here, 6 half-inch T-fittings, a tape measure, and something to mark the pipe with. Something to cut the pipe with. I'm going to use a Sawzall. Yeah, so the Sawzall, bad idea. It chewed up the end of the PVC because it was jumping around so much. So instead I'm going to break out the trusty old miter saw here. Oh, let's see how we go here. Yeah, so the Sawzall, bad idea. It chewed... Did that? Yeah, that's the problem, is I've got a sound break here between... Alright, so let's page up to that. Could have an audio delay between... Yeah, and that's what I'm looking at, is there's this gap right here that I've got to cut out. And I kind of left that for the crashing glass, but all right, I just can't give up on that. Let's do one more Google search, and we'll see what we find out. Breaking glass sound effects. So. That's pretty good. Okay, good. There we go. Hey, perfect. Open the file. And we will remember this one. We will... Oh, didn't mean to do that. Control Z, get that back. We will Control D, and we will add this into SFX, and we will add it in as something to save so I can get to it next time. Cool. Alright, so now then we can go and let's bring back up the sound effects thing. We will grab this MP3 file of Impact Window. We will add that to my sound effects. Drag it into here. Yeah, let's... Yeah, so pipe width. I'm going to use a Sawzall. Yeah, so the Sawzall, bad idea. It chewed... I want that to kind of bleed over just a little bit. Yeah, so the Sawzall... Still... Well, that's because... Sawzall, bad... Oop. Let me do it this way, then. We'll go... Cut out just a little bit here of the end of that. And we will... Ripple delete that clip so it slides everything back over. We do not want it to... Whoop. Alright, well, we'll just do it the old-fashioned way then. Delete... Oh, wait, we did want it to move everything over. Yeah, so the Sawzall, bad idea. It chewed up the end of the PVC because it was jumping around so much. So instead, I'm going to break out the trusty old miter saw here. and a bag of play sand and some. Ooh, that's a rough trusty old miter saw here. And a bag of. So we can move that back down there. But I chewed up the end of the PVC because it was jumping around so much. So instead, I'm going to break out the trusty old miter saw here. And I need a transition right here. Pages. So let's go there. So we are going to go over here to Effects, Video Transitions, and I want something that's going to, like, you know, I wish I had something that was like a glass breaking or something. That'd be great. No, not a dissolve. Maybe an iris would work okay. Yeah, so the saw. Yeah, so the saw. That was kind of fast, but it's... Yeah, so the saw's all. I don't really like that that particular transition. Let's see what else we got here. Motion, push, page turn, wipe. Try a radial wipe. See what that looks like. Yeah, so the saw's all. Yeah, but I want it to go from the. Let's try from the bottom left corner. Yeah, so the saw's all a bad idea. It chews. Okay, getting a lot of. Appreciate it, dear. Thank you. I'll look through some of these later. I think I'm okay with where it's at right now. But that will definitely be handy to have. Those links will be definitely handy to have for future sound effects. Thank you. Yeah, so the saw's all a bad idea. It chewed up the end of the PVC. What do you think of that? You like that transition? Is that working okay? I would love to be able to find something that would, like, you know, shatter the image and, like, make it drop, but that's probably going to be a pro add-on. Let me see what we can do. Hit film, transitions, shatter. See if it's a pro. Shatter effect and hit film 2 ultimate. I should probably say hit film express. Yeah, it looks like shatter effect used to break a layer into 3D chunks. VFX starter kit pack. Okay, let's see if it's in there. Media. Oh, that's media. That's stuff I've added. Oh yeah, I don't know how to add in additional transitions into this yet, so I'll take a look at that and we'll see what it does. But I want to see if there's anything built into HitFilm first, because I mean that seems like it'd be a pretty standard transition. So let's see, 3D scene sharp, quick 3D. Let's see, where's that? There we go. Let's see what we've got here. No, I think that's going to be more like. Let's slide that in here. See what the hell? Oh no, yeah, that's just adding an effect. So, yeah, you see that smoking effect there in the center? That's what that's adding. So, yeah, so it's kind of funny, but you know. So these are not just like transitions between scenes. These are also actual visual effects. Like, you know, if you're trying to do, you know, fake gunshots or a lightsaber and all that kind of jazz, you can do that kind of stuff with this too. I have not really played with that too much. So yeah, these ones they add on are the ones you've got to pay for. So yeah, I was hoping it. Yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff in here. I don't know how to use all of it yet, but that's another thing that I'm trying to do with all this is learn as I go. Maine, where'd you say that was? That was... Oh, it's an add-on. All right, well, maybe I'll do it. For right now, this will work, because, you know, it's not optimal, but...
Yeah, so the Sawzall, bad idea. It chewed up the end of the PVC because it was jumping around so much. So instead, I'm going to break out the trusty old miter saw here. And a bag of...
Need to add, like, I need to change that and add a little bit of a segue. So I will probably add a voiceover. Video. Oh, I do not want that. You can go away. Let's see. Audio here. New voiceover. All right. So I don't think I'm at 4,800. I think I'm only at 44.1. So shouldn't really matter because I'm not trying to sync it up with like mouth movements. But just kind of keeping everything jive. So let me have a whole new appreciation for YouTube creators. I'm probably overcomplicating things, but yeah, I mean there's a lot of work involved, and that's why a lot of people end up once they do okay, they end up hiring a professional editor to take care of this stuff for them. But a lot of it is also my inexperience. I'm still trying to amass my what's the word I'm looking for? My resources, and I don't know the program very well, so you know a lot of these people who are out there and have been doing it for years can knock it out quickly. They've developed templates and things that they can overlay that will basically handle the majority of the layouts and things. They can just grab, drag, and drop a lower third composite in. Yeah, composite shots are what they were talking about. What I'm talking about here, where there's a lot of things you can do ahead of time that you can just include in as part of a template, and then you just place it where you want. Like, for instance, that lower third that I did at the very beginning of the video here, I had that set up as a composite shot. And what a composite shot does is it allows you to basically pre-configure everything, and then you just drag it all in as one unit, and then you can save it out and reuse it over and over again. So, you know, just like anything else nerdy, you just want code reusability. So let me close that out. Get back to here. And so now I've got to figure out a decent transition from my talking head point to here. Which, maybe that should that go there? Nah, we'll just leave it in there. Screw it. Yeah, we'll move it to where it probably should be with A-roll, where I'm addressing the camera. And, I mean, all these channels really have no impact on the final video as long as things are layered appropriately. I'm just trying to keep it organized, so if I ever have to go back in here, I know where it is. Speaking of, let me go ahead and do a save, since I haven't in quite a while. Just so I can make sure that all the stuff we've done tonight is not going to be lost. So let's see here.
That was all. Yeah, so the Sawzall, bad idea. It chewed up the end of the PVC because it was jumping around so much. So instead, I'm going to break out the trusty old miter saw here. And a bag of play sand and some blue.
Yeah, so that drop into the bank. So back something like you're just doing a voiceover, just say something along the lines of. Man, I gotta look and see what I've all got here. BG noise, desk recording. I don't know why I've got that separated out like weirdly. Alright, so.
And a bag of play sand.
We'll go back to here. Add a new audio component. Back to 4100 hertz, 4400 hertz. Okay, and I'm gonna say, all right, back to the materials. All right, back to our materials. All right, back to our materials.
And a bag of play sand and.
Now, I should have hit this mute playback thing so I didn't override it, but That's okay. I can always edit that. So we've got this voiceover now.
Trusty old miter saw here.
All right, back to our materials. Got to crank that up. That was
Trusty old miter saw here.
all right, back to our materials. Yeah, that is way too quiet. I'm going to delete that. We will go back up, and I will have to Control Z. Yeah. Control Z, Control Y. Why? Because I screwed up. All right, we're going to get rid of that voiceover. We'll do a new one here. New voiceover. Remember to mute. Microphone. 4500 input volume. We will crank that up a little bit more, and then I can bring down. All right. All right, back to our materials. So let's get back down here to the VO that popped in. We will pull that up to our VO. Whoop. I'm gonna put it right there for now because this needs to be slid out of the way. Slap that into VO.
Instead, I'm going to break out the trusty old miter saw here.
All right. All right, back to our materials.
I'm going to break out.
Okay, hang on. I gotta cut this sucker down a little bit.
The trusty old miter saw here.
All right. So let's move this up. Looks like these look like the similar wave patterns, so that probably means I need to just I can cut right along there. V to select, delete. I can't ripple gap audio. That's right. All right, back to our
Saw here.
All right, back to our materials. Cut off the end of that. Bring our other audio back in.
See, because it was jumping around so much. So instead, I'm going to break out the trusty old miter saw here.
All right, back to our materials.
And a bag of play sand and some blue painter's tape.
I'm going to get rid of that and because
And a
so I think I can cut it right about there. Delete that.
bag of
Back to our materials.
a bag of play.
All right, so that's kind of awkward because of the way the sounds work. So what we're going to do is we're going to add keyframes. And so that will allow me to just control plop one there. Plop. Oop, did not mean to put it there. I wanted to put it up here. Come on. Control Z. Put it on the end of that. And then I can move this down. I'll put another keyframe here. And maybe one here to kind of move that down. And what that should do, that should allow me to even out the audio a little bit more. We'll have to play with that a little, like kind of a fade.
The bag of
All right, back to our materials.
the bag of play.
That didn't really help out much, did it? Let me move this back a little. All right, back to our materials.
The bag of play sand and some blue.
All right, back to our materials.
The bag of play sand.
All right, back to our materials.
The saw here.
All right, back to our materials.
The bag of play sand.
You know what? Let's get rid of all this, and we'll just do an actual audio fade. So we'll go back to our effects. Go to where were they? The transitions audio. You know, honestly, I don't know the difference between a crossfade and a fade, so I'm just going to grab and drop a fade in there.
Here.
All right, back to our materials.
The bag of play sand.
Yeah, that's a little bit rough. To our materials.
The bag of play.
Nope. All right, back to our materials.
The bag of play sand and some blue painter's tape.
I'm just not happy with that. Maybe I should just I could just re-record that. Yeah, I mean, shit. I can just re-record a voiceover for that. Yeah, screw that. We'll delete that. Why am I making this so damn hard on myself? Media, audio. I mean, it's not like I have to re-record the entire scene. I can just do a voiceover. New. Voiceover. See, yep, just tell me you, Bella. Yep. Alright, back down. So got the right mod. Back down to 4100. So now back to our materials. We'll also need a bag of sand and some blue painter's tape. Whoop, mute that. We'll also need a bag of sand. Nope. We'll also need a bag of play sand and some blue painter's tape. Alright, so let's see how that worked. That came out. Back down here to our thing. Pull that up into our audio. Move that over. We'll also need a bag of... Oop, gonna have to crank that up. Sand. Nope. We'll also need a bag... So we can cut that right there. C for cut. V for select. Get rid of that sucker. Actually, we will Control Z and we will... Once we have a cut, we can do this ripple delete clip. And it'll automatically slide everything over. Oh yeah, no worries. It's not like they pay the bills or anything.
It's the old miter saw here.
Alright, back to our materials. We'll also need a bag of play sand and some blue painter's tape. There we go. A bag of play sand and some blue painter's tape. Alright, C for cut. Cut that last portion off where it's just dead air. And now we can slap that back in and let's see how we're doing here.
I've got two 10-footers here, 6 half-inch T-fittings, a tape measure, and something to mark the pipe with, something to cut the pipe with. I'm going to use a Sawzall. Yeah, so the Sawzall, bad idea. It chewed up the end of the PVC because it was jumping around so much. So instead, I'm going to break out the trusty old miter saw here.
Alright, back to our materials. We'll also need a bag of play sand. I'm going to need a visual transition there again, because that... Let's go with like a fade or something like that this time. See, there's the audio transitions. Let's go to a video transition. Fade to color? What's that look like? Oh shit, they have to be on the same fucking channel for it to fade, so... Guess we get away from A-roll, go back to the B-roll.
The trusty old miter saw here.
Alright, back to our materials. Well, also... That's not bad. What color do we want to fade to, though? That's the question. Let's fade to a purple. Just for shits.
The trusty old miter saw here.
Alright, back to our materials. Now, you know what actually I want to fade to? Is I'm going to fade to... Okay, that's good to know. You have to blur that one out, I guess, but yeah. Alright, let me see if I can get the... grab something here. I'm going to try to get a color palette. So, one of the things I did was I have the hexadecimal colors for my logo, so that I can easily incorporate it. That's the logo you're seeing over on the right hand side. It's got basically it's the silhouette of me, or not silhouette, but caricature of me and my ear protection and mask and breathing protection. So let's try the blue. That's the circle color here. So we will copy that. And where is our hex? There it is. Paste that. Let's go with that. Let's see.
Trusty old miter saw here.
Alright, back to our materials. We'll also need a... Maybe I'll shorten that. I mean, we don't need much.
I'm going to break out the trusty old miter saw here.
Alright, back to our materials. We'll also need a bag of play sand and some blue painter's tape.
So we need to cut our PVC to size. We're going to take the circumference measure
And some blue painter's tape.
So we need to cut our PVC to size. We're going to take the circumference measurements we can use.
We'll also need a bag of play sand and some blue painter's tape. Alright, so let's go ahead and back up to here. And at this point, we're pretty much done. So with the... Control Z. V to point. We're pretty much done with the video of just the shit sitting here. So now we can go back to our media and start looking at some of the other video that we brought in. As far as... see what we got here with the chop saw. Hey, Mary, how you doing? I'm glad you made it in. Yeah, I'm going to be on until probably at least around 11ish or so, depending on how good it goes. Yeah, glad you popped in. It's like DAOC all over again. You and Bella are my crew tonight. How you doing? Oh, and just FYI, the real time has about a 3 to 5 second lag on YouTube, so I'm kind of talking to you from the past or the future or something. Anyway, there's a little bit of a audio or a world sync, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, we're working on this this video for this leaf bag holder that I'm building. As I've told Bella, it's two circles on top of each other with connecting legs. That's going to be for a leaf stand, a bag stand for like when you're raking leaves or when you're like emptying your yard clippings or whatever, just to hold the bag open. But we'll get to that. But yeah, it's good to see you chatting. So hang on, let me drop the heart in the chat. So let me see here where we're at with the. Right now I'm editing in some clips of hopefully this is a clip of me actually doing something here. Let's see. I had to close the garage door so you didn't see the ugliness there. Alright, let's see what we got here. Unlocking the blade. Maybe. Alright, I can probably use part of that. So I can probably C for cut, snap that, select that. I can get rid of that portion because that's not really showing anything. But now as I get to here, I'll want to cut again, V to move it, and maybe intersplice with a better angle of cutting. Now that's out of focus. That sucks because that probably would be a pretty decent angle. Let's see what we got there. I wish I could focus on the amplifier, but that's just... whoop. Yeah, unfortunately that clip is just unusable. So, we will just remove that from the thing altogether. Let's go ahead and go back in here with this. Get a nice camera in the background there. So. Get it going to down to there, and then maybe a cut clip to like right in there. Do that. Select V, get rid of this, and see if that looks like it kind of does a decent transition. Oh, that was bad. Didn't get enough of the cut in there. Let's cut it right here. I don't know how interesting it'll be, but yeah, you ripple cut that so I don't have to deal with that. But I appreciate you being here. I am definitely a neophyte at this. I do not know what the hell I'm doing. I am level, maybe I'd probably put myself at level 4 out of 50. So we'll see. But appreciate your support. Nope, I need to cut it again back here. What I'm trying to do is get it to where it goes from seamless, almost like I just changed the take. You know what I mean? So that's good. You never see how long the... That's really close. I'm getting there with that one. I think I only need to trim off like 1 or 2 frames. Yeah, and I'm being very meticulous and very, nitty on this. So, what's the ripple delete gap is Alt delete. I'm being pretty. Oop, what the hell did I just do? Oop, let's go back. Ah, I was ripple deleting the wrong item. Oh, okay. Well, I'll still be here for a while, Mary. So come on back whenever you can. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go back to the beginning of that. I'm gonna try one more frame off and see how that goes. So I move forward one frame. C for cut, V for grab, ripple delete. Just easier to use the mouse. I wonder if I can link. I would love to be able to link those together. Let's see if it's gonna. Nope. Oop, didn't mean to do that. Control Z, Z. There, control there. Can I adjust? Nope, can't adjust both their audios at the same time. That would have been nice. What I want is I want the sound of the what you call it, but all right. So let's see. Let's move this to a different line here because I don't want it interfering, but I want it lined up right. So I don't have the oh shit. That's the other audio, the other piece that I'm looking for there. So. See how this goes.
The size our stand is going to be, we can start getting together our materials and our supplies. So what you're going to need are a couple long sections of 1/2-inch PVC pipe. I've got 2 10-footers here, 6. Yeah, so the Sawzall, bad idea. It chewed up the end of the PVC because it was jumping around so much. So instead I'm going to break out the trusty old miter saw here.
Alright, back to our materials. We'll also need a bag of play sand and some blue painter's tape.
So we need to cut our PVC to size. We're going to take the circumference measurements we got earlier and divide each of them by 3 to get the approximate lengths for the segments of our top and our bottom rings. Bear in mind that the T-fittings that we're going to segments of our top and our the approximate lengths for the segments of our top and our bottom rings.
Okay, see, so I don't need the rest of this clip, I don't think. What is this? This is... Okay, yeah, I don't need that clip. The problem is I'm talking about cutting the long sections here and showing cutting the
because it was jumping
sections.
around so much. Old miter saw here.
Alright, back to our materials. We'll also need a bag of play sand and some blue painter's tape.
So we need to cut our PVC to size. We're going to take the circumference measurements we got earlier and divide each of them by 3 to get the approximate lengths for the segments of our top and our bottom rings. Bear in mind that the T-fittings that we're going to join everything together with will add 1 inch or 2 to our final circumference. This is perfect for the bottom ring because we want that to be larger so the bag can easily slip in and out. But we will have to account for that in the upper ring to make sure that the bag can still fold over the top. After that, we can cut another 3 pieces at the height of the full. Still fold over the top. After that, we can cut another 3 pieces at the height of the full bag for our in the upper ring to make sure that the bag can still fold over the top. After that, we can cut another 3 pieces at the height of the full bag for our legs. Because the top ring is narrower than the bottom, the legs will be at a slight angle. This will compensate for the extra length added by the T's.
Alright, so now I need to fill in the space of probably cutting the long ones. Let's see what we've got. So... New folder. We're going to call this Scene 5 Cutting. Move that out from underneath there and into video. You know, that's stupid. I don't need that. Get rid of materials here. So I guess I should be using the editor up here to really cut in. I'm just not thinking. So this is what's called the preview pane, the mixer, or what's the word? Trimmer. That's the word right up there, trimmer. And so really I should be playing my clips here, selecting an in and an outro point, and then importing them in. I'm just skipping that because I'm not thinking about what I'm doing. We go here. Let's go there, there. Let's look at this and see what we can. So at this point, I've actually added a fence along here, which I didn't have in the previous section. So, hey, welcome back. All right, let's see. Let's see what we got here with this clip. Probably not going to use this because of the because of me attaching the fence. Well, I decided that because I'm really trying to focus on the videos themselves, it didn't really make sense for me to be over on Twitch. I probably should have posted something on Facebook for you guys so people know. I wonder how many people went over to Twitch looking for me and didn't find me. I did post a message over on Twitch that I'm over here now, but I need to put up a offline sign that says that I'm over here. It's a good idea. I'll make a note of that real quick. Twitch offline, YouTube refer. But yeah, I decided that it didn't make sense for me to be trying to live stream over there for videos I'm making over here when I could just live stream over here and keep everything together. And honestly, keeping it together like this is going to help me reach my goals for. In order to become monetized with YouTube, you've got to get 1,000 followers and 4,000 hours in a single year, 4,000 watch hours. And streams do count as long as they're public, as long as they go into like a video on demand type scenario. They do count towards your watch time. So you and Bella being here are rocking up some hours for me towards that 4,000. So hopefully, you know, that you know gets me there a little bit quicker. Because I think with that first video and the 90 some odd views I got, it was only amassing like 3.5 hours total of view time. So let me see. Oh, that was me taking the fence off. Oh, now I'm putting the fence back on. What the hell am I doing? I don't think I even know what the hell I'm doing. What did I just step on? Something. I can't even tell. I can definitely include this about adding the fence. The only problem is, hey, welcome back. Welcome back, Whitney. Art's here. That's another thing I really hate about these things. I wonder if I can. There's a set. I don't have to look for that later. There's a setting that allows me to interact over here with chat and all that while a clip is playing without it pausing the clip. So I guarantee there is. Okay, so what I'm doing in this clip is. Typically, when you're cutting long pieces, you know this length of fence on the back of the miter saw is very, very short, and so when you want to make repeated cuts. A lot of times, what you'll do is you'll set up a stop block so that instead of having to measure each time and getting those little bitty incremental errors, you can set up a stop block, and then when you push your piece up against that block, you know the distance from that piece to the blade is always constant, so it inherently creates segments of the same length. And so what I'm doing here is because the length of the segments I'm trying to create are longer than that side of the fence, I'm creating an artificial fence onto there that will allow me to put a stop block further away from the blade, so I can still get those repeated cuts. There's a whole lot of nothing there, but let me see what so I do think I can use some of this. So. Let's go here. Do a new AV and just started pushing. Documentation is the longest 4-letter word to IT folk. That's okay. At least when I shake my head, yeah, like I understand you guys have me on camera. So yeah. So I've just got to make sure not to do anything too stupid. Because I don't have Tara here to throw a stapler at me. Alright, let's... So... Whitney was telling Mary that I forgot, we were editing down in this this timeline down here, editing clips. I totally forgot about the trimmer element up here. So when I have a movie down in here, I can just click and play it right up here. Yeah, don't pick my nose. Yeah, at least you can't see me when I scratch my balls. That's the important thing. But when I select a movie down here, it'll automatically go up into this trimmer portion, and then I can play that little clip right in here, and I can click the I button as an in point, and the O button to set an out point, and trim it up inside there. And then when I'm ready to move it in, I just hit this little this B button, and it'll move it all the way down. So I'll show you what that looks like here in just a second. So I've set my in point, my I. This may not even be anything I use. Although it could be a good little piece to add that information. I don't think a lot of people are. Okay, yeah, that'll be a good outro point, because was that just a few seconds, so we hit B, and now it moves that little clip that we just watched as I trimmed right down to here. So we're going to unlink this because the audio is worthless on that. Go ahead and page up to get to the starting of that clip, and we'll add another voiceover real quick. So, I need to rename these real quickly, though. Action shot. Like a ninja.
Fold over the top. After that, we can cut another 3 pieces at...
Okay, so this one is... Come on, Cletus, let's go. Give me my pop-up. I want to see what the name of this damn clip is. 2849. Wait, that's the... Okay, that's the actual clip from the movie. Material Pro. Where's my dang voiceover? Okay, that's fine. This is what I'm here over here.
All right, back to our material.
So, 2020, the 04. I need to rename this F2 for future reference to VO back to Matt's. All right. Oop. Materials. We'll also need a bag of play sand and some blue painter's tape. And rename this VO dash sand and tape. Just so in the future when I'm looking back at this, I know which one is which. So we'll go all the way back to where we were at. Let me zoom back out. Get to the start of that clip. So let's see. What am I trying to think? What am I thinking I'm going to say here? So let me open this up and let's create a little bit of a script. So to make repeated cuts easy, we can add an auxiliary fence to the miter saw and then attach a stop block to that. I appreciate it. Yeah, some of the original audio is a little bit sketchy, but That's okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back through and I'll try and rebalance it. And there's going to be tonal differences, and I'm not going to worry about that too much. I'm trying not to shoot for perfect. I'm trying to shoot for good enough. I'm trying to shoot for let's get some stuff done. I want to get like 5 or 10 videos out there, so there's it's a selection, so I can try and start garnering some crowd coming in, get some actual projects out there. I'm probably going to end up setting up like a Patreon or something like that that's going to have some behind the scenes stuff, and more than that, it'll allow Patreon members to vote on which projects I'm going to tackle in the future, in the order I'm going to tackle them. So that way, I want to try and build more of a community than just random folk that happen to find me, and try and do a word of mouth grassroots style get out there. But so to make repeated cuts easy, we can add an auxiliary fence to the miter saw and then attach a stop block to that. And now I'll explain what the stop block does. The stop block creates a... What's where I'm looking? How can I say this? I just said it earlier. I wish I'd have written down when I said it. Stop block creates a fixed distance from one side of the saw blade to the block, allowing for repeatable cuts, repeatable lengths without measuring every time and removing a lot of the error, removing a lot of template. Template as far as that the stop block makes a template so that it makes a set length. Yeah. I think this is going to be too long though, so removes the guesswork. That's a good one. Measuring down, removing a lot of the. But what I'm not trying to say the guesswork. What I'm trying to say is it's removing the error from having to read the tape measure. Sometimes you read it a little bit short of the mark. Sometimes it's a little bit long of the mark. Whether it's light or heavy. Sometimes when you make a pencil mark or whatever on there, you don't know whether especially if you don't cut it right away, you don't know if you intended to cut at the start of that mark, at the end of that mark, right in the middle of that mark. That's a lot of times why you'll see, instead of just making a straight line, carpenters will make a V, so they know that point is exactly where they wanted to make their cut. They want the saw blade on that point. Without introducing error by measuring every time. Let's say that. Oh yeah, that's one of the things that if you ever come over, I'll show you in my shop. When I'm making a mark like that, I'll either use a mechanical pencil because it's got a very thin lead that stays the same shape all the time, or I will use it's called a marking knife. It's basically like I'm trying to figure out like a one-sided beveled knife that's really sharp, so that you can cut a really crisp line. So you're not even using a pencil line; you're actually using a slice down the wood, and that also serves the purpose of severing those top fibers of the wood so that it doesn't get like fuzzy when you cut it. It helps to prevent that. But as far as the two things that I really have found beneficial that since I started getting into making and all that are that V to mark my point exactly where I want it, and also whenever I'm like drilling into the wall, I'll take like a little Post-it note and tape it up to the wall and make kind of like a little V with it so that it catches all the dust and all that. So actually losing a finger is why the next thing, once I get the shop cleared out, the first thing I'm buying is a new table saw called a Saw Stop, and it's got some flesh sensing technology, and they're using the electrical signals generated by the body, and basically if your hand or any part of your body ever touches the blade, it automatically shoots like kind of like a braking mechanism to stop the saw blade instantly. So instead of losing a finger, you might end up with I think the worst they've seen is like an 1/8 of an inch cut deep. So save a finger, but costs a pretty penny. Alright, so let's see. To make repeated saw cuts easy, we can add an auxiliary fence to the miter saw. And then we'll attach a stop block to that. The stop block creates a fixed distance from one side of the saw blade to the block. That's kind of redundant. The stop block creates a fixed distance from one side of the saw. Okay, I don't even just say to the block. Creates a fixed distance from one side of the saw blade, allowing for repeatable lengths. I don't like that. Repeatable, allowing us to cut repeatable lengths without introducing error by measuring every time. Introducing tiny errors from measuring every time. Creates a template for future cuts. And I'm trying to get it to a more granular level, just for, I don't know, I guess maybe that might work. I'm trying to figure out how the flow of the language works. You know, template for future cuts sounds a lot better, but to make allowing us to make repeatable cuts. Okay, well that's redundant, isn't it? So I'm going to get rid of this first sentence too, because we can add an auxiliary fence to the miter saw and then attach a stop block to that. Make auxiliary fence with a stop block. Stop block to the miter saw. We can add an auxiliary fence with a stop block to the miter saw. The stop block creates a fixed distance from one side of the saw blade. Creates a fixed. I don't know if I would like the word fixed. Creates a set distance. We'll just leave it. Creates a fixed distance from. The stop block creates a fixed distance from one side of the saw blade, allowing us to cut repeatable lengths without introducing tiny errors from measuring every time. All right, let's give that a go, see how it goes, and I will. If this isn't working, freaking technology is cool, despite what my mom said. Sorry, I just caught your previous note there, Whit. All right, so for one audio, we can crank that audio up. It's going to be easier to turn the audio down than it will be to turn it up. And mute the playback, so if I accidentally get some audio, we can do that. Let's see, where are we going to be here with that? Okay. We can add an auxiliary fence with a stop block to the miter saw. The stop block creates a fixed distance from one side of the saw blade, allowing us to cut repeatable lengths without introducing tiny errors from measuring every time. Wow, I said that way too fast. I didn't get enough time to get through the entire clip, did I? Alright, let's see how this... Yeah, I got a shit ton of extra voiceover lines too. I need to get rid of those. So. Let's go here and we'll delete the empty tracks and get rid of all those. That's one thing I don't like, is that it's another thing I guess I don't like is that it creates a whole lot of additional tracks for each voiceover as opposed to just create. Let's see, rename VO dash. Stop block. Finish the stop block. Okay. Let's see how this worked. We can add an auxiliary. We can add. Oh shit! I mean, I forgot it was even shorter because I choked on that. Cut. C for cut. V for. Let's get rid of that. Move this to there. We can add an auxiliary fence with a stop block to the miter saw. The stop block creates a fixed distance from one side of the saw blade, allowing us to cut repeatable lengths without introducing tiny errors from measuring every time. Alright, so what's the length on this then? That is 3.56, 3 seconds and 56 frames. So let's do speed duration here. Duration on that will be 3 seconds and 56 frames. Let's see how bad that screws it up. Okay, that is not right then, is it? Did that just duplicate it, or? We can add an auxiliary fence with a stop block to the miter saw. The stop block creates a fixed distance from one side of the saw blade, allowing us to cut repeatable lengths without introducing tiny errors from measuring every time. Lengths without introducing tiny errors from measuring every time. Okay, we're going to cut. Oh, come on, man. Cut. Why are you not letting me cut? You son of a bitch. We will shorten that down. Add an auxiliary. Let's see. We can add an auxiliary fence with a stop block to the miter saw. The stop block creates a fixed distance from one side of the saw blade, allowing us to cut repeatable lengths without introducing tiny errors from measuring every time. Okay, let me see. I don't like the way that is working, so let me go ahead and go back. For measuring every time. Move that back. And again, I could have been doing it from this up here. I'm just... Cut. There we go. Now we got it. V. Remove. Get rid of that. What do we have here on our length of time? Come on, give me my pop-up again, damn it. 2 minutes 40. No, 2 seconds. No, that can't be right. That's definitely not 2 minutes and 40 seconds. That's the timestamp I'm on, isn't it? 2:37. Mathing is hard. Okay, we'll just go up here. Speed duration. 9 seconds 25. Okay. We will change the speed duration here. So what this is going to do is by changing this, we need to link the two of those. So let's cancel this. So we go up to speed duration and we link this. So 100% of that clip took 20 seconds. Now if I change it to 9 seconds and 25 frames, it'll go at 200% speed. So let's see how that works out. We can add an auxiliary fence with a stop block to the miter saw. The stop block creates a fixed distance from one side of the saw blade, allowing us to cut repeatable lengths without introducing tiny errors from measuring every time. That works. Let's see where we're at with this.
So much. So instead, I'm going to break out the trusty old miter saw here.
All right, back to our materials. We'll also need a bag of play sand and some blue painter's tape. We can add an auxiliary fence with a stop block. Ooh, shit.
The old miter saw here.
All right, back to our materials. We'll also need a bag of play sand and some blue painter's tape. We can add an auxiliary fence with a stop block to the miter saw. The stop block creates a fixed distance from one side of the saw blade, allowing us to cut repeatable lengths without introducing tiny errors from measuring every time. This in. Distance from one side of the saw blade, allowing us to cut repeatable lengths without introducing tiny errors from measuring every time.
So we need to cut our PVC to size. We're going to take the circumference measurements we got earlier and divide each of them by 3 to get the approximate lengths for the segments of our top and our bottom rings. Bear in mind that the T-fittings that we're going to join everything together with will add an inch or 2 to our final circumference. This is perfect for the bottom ring because we want that to be larger so the bag can easily slip in and out. But we will have to account for that in the upper ring to make sure that the bag can still fold over the top. After that, we can cut another 3 pieces at the height of the full bag for our legs. Because the top ring is narrower than the bottom, the legs will be at a slight angle. This will compensate for the extra length added by the T's.
All right, I'm probably going to get rid of that voiceover. I don't really care for that altogether. Let me see if I've got let me look at what other video clips I have. Do I actually have anything where I'm using the damn fence? Because if I'm not... Okay, here's the stop block in action. Let me see what I've got out of this real quick.
So quick and easy way to get repeatable cuts. Grab a scrap piece of stock, screw it to the back of your miter saw. Should make sure it's long enough for your longest piece to be cut.
Didn't realize I already had this audio in here. If I recall, I dropped that screw. Nope, different buttons.
Now you got something long enough to clamp onto. Now you've got something long enough to clamp a stop block onto.
Yeah, I'm probably going to not use this clip. So this was filmed, I believe, looking at the things, it was end of November. So it's been several months, which is why I don't have the scruffy beard. So I was asking Whitney earlier whether she thought I should worry about shaving the beard so that I can, when I make the additional scenes, because I've got several more scenes to film for this, whether I should shave the beard or whether I should just say screw it and just go ahead and move forward. Now the problem is it's not going to be like the first half of the videos without a beard and the second half is with. There are going to be scenes in that I need to intersplice into the first half that will have me with the beard. So I think I'll probably end up shaving it, and then we'll see if I regrow it or not. Who knows? But this has just been me trying to do whatever I can since I can't change my hairstyle. So yeah, that and had Tara redo my nails. So supporting Ukraine. Oop, that's not what I wanted. I wanted this one.
And because this cut edge is zero, and because this is a zero, and because this edge is.
Yeah, I actually do that. I take a look back at what I was wearing during the filming, and I'll make sure I've still got that Lodge shirt and my St. Jude vest that I'll put on. So yeah, the next scene I'm gonna film I know is gonna be a fun one, and I'm gonna leave that for let's see, probably be next Monday's editing, because I'm probably not gonna be able to film it until possibly this weekend. But yeah, it'll be funny. It'll be enjoyable. Those of you who tune in to the live stream will get to see me cutting it together. And I'm also, if I do the Patreon thing, I'll also put the behind the scenes of the cacophonous mess I'm sure it's going to be of me getting into the scenario. So I'll leave that as a teaser for you guys. So yeah, but
the zero clearance edge. Now that we've cut it. We can measure out exactly how far we need to go, place our stop right there.
That's terrible audio. I definitely need to get a lavalier mic. Yeah. Alright, yeah, I'm not going to use any of this clip, so I'm just going to remove that. Oh, yeah, big T's? Yeah. I could tell you what it's going to be, and it's only it would be okay. All right, I'll tell you what. If it's just the two of you guys still in here, I'll go ahead and tell you. Okay, it is. So basically, what I'm going to do is, so give me just a second. I'll get a prop. So I'm going to have a piece of the PVC right here. I'm going to tell you. Look. Let's see, how can I put it? How was I going to put it? I didn't write this down, so this is going to be a pretty inexpensive project. You can pretty much take any type of PVC you want. This is Schedule 40. It's going to be structurally sound enough, and it's cheap enough to make this project affordable. But you got to be careful with what you get. You want to make sure you don't get the helium infused version. And then I'm going to let it go, and it's going to hit my camera, and it's going to flip up in the air because I'm going to film that hanging upside down, and then I will just let it go, and it will, just fall to the ground. But it will, because of some of the things I'm going to do, it will just look like it's going up into the air. But yeah, so that's, yeah. Hopefully I didn't screw the camera up too bad. So yeah. Live stream shenanigans. All right, so that's the clip we sped up. Yeah, I actually got the idea from an old, it was like either in the 80s or early 90s SNL skit that Penn and Teller did, where they were doing magic while they were hanging upside down. But you couldn't tell until the very end that they were doing it. It was just funny. They would throw the ball up, which looked like it was down, and to bounce it against the table, and then they would let it go, and it would just fly out of their hand, and things like that. So, yeah, well, no, I'm just gonna leave it in the the full version. My life is a blooper reel. So, all right, let's see what we got here. Well, this doesn't look like there's much of anything in this clip. Let me relocate the camera. But here you can clearly see the stop block that I used for the legs. Yeah, that I'm going to remove that simply because my cabeza is in the way the entire time. So, watching an Impractical Jokers episode, they were doing something like that. You know, I never really liked that show. I never got into it too terribly much. Actually, what I'll do is I will have her throw a stapler at me. Don't worry. And I'm sure she would not mind hitting me with a spoon either. Are you talking like a big wooden spoon? Or do you want just like a regular like teaspoon or a tablespoon? Or give me some details, because, I mean, I'm sure she'd be willing to hit me with all of them. Honestly, I probably deserve it, so. Move that out here so that way if I do clip something. And so, here's me getting directly in the way of the... No, I might actually, as I'm talking about, so I can clip this in. Leave it up to her. So that'll be my outro point. Let's see where my intro point is. To about here for the end point. That end point here. Let's try that. Okay, we'll move that down to B. Let's see how that looks. Fence with a stop block to the miter saw. The stop block creates a fixed distance from one side of the saw blade, allowing us to cut repeatable lengths without introducing tiny errors. Let's unlink this. Let's see. Distance from one side of the saw blade, allowing us to cut repeatable lengths without introducing tiny errors. Ooh, that's remember the rest of my damn audio. Repeatable lengths without introducing tiny error. Tiny error. Actually, no, let's put that back. I should be able to just go up here, grab the audio clip again, and recut that. We can add an auxiliary. Actually, let me delete that. We can add an auxiliary fence with a stop block to the endpoint. We can add an auxiliary fence with a stop block to the miter saw. The stop block creates a fixed distance from one side of the saw blade, allowing us to cut repeatable lengths without introducing tiny errors for measuring every time. Yeah, for some reason I cut out a lot of errors for measuring every time. So let me do an outro there. We'll slap that in. Oh, that's much better. Move that to that side. You see what the duration is on that one. Yeah, that one goes to 927. So we will change this speed duration. We will link it. 927. Okay, slap that over there. Bye-bye, and then move that back. So let's see. The old miter saw here. All right, back to our materials. We'll also need a bag of play sand and some blue painter's tape. We can add an auxiliary fence with a stop block to the miter saw. The stop block creates a fixed distance from one side of the saw blade, allowing us to cut repeatable lengths without introducing tiny errors for measuring every time. It's super quiet. I need to crank that volume up a little bit. From one side of the saw blade, allowing us to cut repeatable lengths without introducing tiny errors for measuring every time. I actually think I want to. I'm going to get rid of the audio from that, so that it's already unlinked. And I may. God damn it! I thought it was unlinked. There we go. Unlink. Distance from one side of the saw blade, allowing us to cut repeatable lengths without introducing tiny errors for measuring every time. The thing I want to do is sync that up with the word lengths. Repeatable lengths without introducing tiny errors for measuring every time. Yeah, that'll work. I mean, I guess I can just throw that in there and really just crank down that volume quite a bit. Allowing us to cut repeatable lengths without introducing tiny errors for measuring every time. Crank it down a little more. The saw blade, allowing us to cut repeatable lengths without introducing tiny errors for measuring every time. Yeah, it works okay. So let's see how that segment
Sawzall.
Yeah. All right, and you know what? For Hart, I'm going to go ahead and.
So before we get started with our build, because lawn bags can vary in size, we want to take a few measurements to make sure that the bag is going to fit the stand that we build. Originally, I thought I'd try and be slick and extrapolate the stand size from the size of an empty bag. But then I realized I was way overcomplicating things, and the best, most efficient, and most accurate way would probably be just to measure a full bag.
So to make that happen, first we're going to need a pile of leaves. Then we're going to need to put those leaves in a bag.
So what we're looking to get out of this are the circumference, diameter, and height of a full bag. The overall height of the stand should be about as tall as the full bag, maybe slightly taller, but we want to make sure we leave enough of the bag so that we can wrap it around the top ring of the stand. And we'll want the bottom ring of our stand to be a little larger than the bag circumference, say about 3 inches, and the top ring to be a little bit smaller, say about 6 to 9 inches. Alright, so now we know what size our stand is going to be. We can start getting together our materials and our supplies. So what you're going to need are a couple long sections of half-inch PVC pipe. I've got 2 10-footers here, 6 half-inch T-fittings, a tape measure, and something to mark the pipe with, something to cut the pipe with. I'm going to use a Sawzall. Yeah, so the Sawzall, bad idea. It chewed up the end of the PVC because it was jumping around so much. So instead I'm going to break out the trusty old miter saw here.
Alright, back to our materials. We'll also need a bag of play sand and some blue painter's tape. We can add an auxiliary fence with a stop block to the miter saw. The stop block creates a fixed distance from one side of the saw blade, allowing us to cut repeatable lengths without introducing tiny errors for measuring every time. Now I'm wondering if the back to the materials part doesn't feel like it's in the right spot. It feels like I went away, came back, and went away again. I wonder if I should just go away, do the fence, and then add the return to the materials piece there. Thoughts? Oh, shit, everybody's gone. Did the stream go down? No. Yeah, Bella said the same thing earlier. Well, it's weird. It's not showing you guys as being in chat. No, okay, there you are. You're back now, Mary. Weird. But, okay. Yeah, I don't know why, but when I looked at the participants window, it didn't show you guys. So, I wonder if there's a way for me to get that without having to flip back and forth. If I can actually... I don't know. I've got some stuff I need to... honestly, concurrent viewers, I can see the list of those. But I can see the number. I don't know if I can see the names, though. Yeah, at least at some point we had somebody else in there. Were we quiet for 2? No, I don't think so. I just think YouTube is still fledgling when it comes to streaming, and it is a lot more of a pain in the butt than it was over on Twitch. But it just made more sense to be over here for it to consolidate everything in one space. So I'm just kind of getting used to it, and it's probably my fault for not knowing exactly where things are. It's kind of like when you go and you play WoW after playing DAOC or something like that. There's enough familiarity that the differences confuse the living crap out of you. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, I have watched a whole ton of YouTube to try and figure out, how to get good transitions. Like I really liked the part where I flip the bag up and it covers the camera, and then I bring it down and I'm in a new location. But that type of thing. I actually had an older Asian gentleman walk past while I was filming that, and he was looking at me like I was batshit crazy, but it was funny as hell to me. Yeah. I don't know. Honestly, people say it's awkward to talk to the camera and all that, and it's a little bit different. But if you just pretend it's at least one of the people that you know, or it's somebody that you're friends with, it's really not that big a deal. And I think maybe the pandemic has really helped out a lot as far as that goes. It's a positive thing that came out of that I'm so used to being on web calls and all that, and looking at the camera instead of addressing the faces on the video, that, I mean, it doesn't even seem like a camera. It almost seems like an actual person. Actually, that might be funny to do, is put a pair of googly eyes on the sides of the camera or something like that, so I have eyes to look into. All right, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and let's finish watching. All right.
Of half-inch PVC pipe. I've got 2 10-footers here,
Oh, yeah.
6 half-inch T-fittings, a tape measure, and something to mark the pipe with, something to cut the pipe with. I'm going to use a Sawzall. Yeah, so the Sawzall...
Honestly, I've gotten to the point where I either don't, unless it's somebody that I know is, like, meticulous about it. I wish I had the stop block in this frame. It might actually have been a good shot. But right now it's kind of useless. Same problem here. Camera's still in a bad position. You can just see the end of the stop. I'm still going to try and see if I can't add this in to add a little bit of something. Drop the audio down there.
The error is for measuring every time.
Oh,
It's for measuring every time.
A transition, I think. Switched hands though, didn't I? I'll use my other hand every time there. Or what?
Tiny errors for lengths without introducing tiny errors for measuring every time. Creates a fixed distance from one side of the saw blade, allowing us to cut repeatable lengths without introducing tiny errors for measuring every time.
No, I'm just trying to keep it interesting by changing camera angles. So if it's a steady shot, if the camera doesn't move, it gets a little bit boring. And so by changing the angle, I'm trying to introduce a little more emotion and a little more excitement, a little more attention grabbing, because it's kind of like when you're driving down the highway. If you're going down a long straight stretch of road, you kind of zone out and you don't really pay attention as well. That's one of the reasons they design roads to curve, is so that it changes your perspective up, and that change of perspective tends to keep your attention going. But maybe I'm getting a little bit too psychoanalytical or just a little too psycho about it. Saw blade, allowing us to cut repeatable lengths without introducing tiny errors for measuring every time. Yeah, I think I'm over. I don't think too many people will bitch about the hand switch thing. It's not really that noticeable. I'm probably just doing it. But yeah, that is all of that footage. Let's see if I have anything else. If not, tomorrow's going to be really interesting because I don't have anything for the... where are we at here? Video projects. Bag stand. Let's see what else we got. Okay, so... there's a lovely, like, chin image. I don't know what the heck that is. Let's see. Oh, is this the one that I just deleted?
To make the stand, we're ready to get our supplies together. Alright, now that we know how big to make this stand, we're going to need a few materials.
Checking the notes.
Alright, now that we know how big to make the stand, we're ready to get our supplies together.
And this, the squinting, is why I do not, I should not be filming with the sun at my face. Yeah, that's one of the reasons that some of those like long stretches of highway out in like the Midwest and all that are so considered so dangerous. Is the rhythm of the road and all that will just lull drivers into just zoning out, and then they end up falling asleep or whatever, not even realizing it, and going right off the freaking road. Alright, well, I think that is pretty much all of the footage I have for right now, which is interesting that I've got about, what, how long did we say this was so far? So, no, it's not 1 minute and 38 friggin' seconds. So the way this timestamp thing works is the first segment, that's hours, minutes, seconds, and then the number of frames on the video. So that can't be just like a 2-minute friggin' video, can it? Yeah, I mean, if I get near the timestamps, I'm getting out to like... what the hell? Something is not right. I don't know. Where's my...
So before we get started with our build, because lawn bags can vary in size, we want to take a few measurements to make sure that the bag is going to fit the stand that we build. Originally I thought I'd try and be slick and extrapolate the stand size from the size of an empty bag. But then I realized I was way overcomplicating things, and the best, most efficient, and...
By the way, you guys did catch the 80085 joke, right? Or is that just a guy thing where it looks like boobs? I don't know.
The most accurate way would probably be just to measure a full bag.
So to make that happen, first we're going to need a pile of leaves. Then we're going to need to put those leaves in a bag. Yeah,
so what we're looking to get out of this are the circumference, diameter, and height of a full bag.
Okay.
The overall height of the stand should be about as tall as the full bag, maybe slightly taller, but we want to make sure we leave enough of the bag so that we can wrap it around the top ring of the stand. And we'll want the bottom ring of our stand to be a little larger than the bag circumference, say about 3 inches. And the top ring to be a little bit smaller, say about 6 to 9 inches. Alright, so now we know what size our stand is going to be. We can start getting together our materials and our supplies. So what you're going to need are a couple long sections of 1/2-inch PVC pipe. I've got 2 10-footers here, 6 1/2-inch T-fittings, a tape measure and something to mark the pipe with, something to cut the pipe with. I'm going to use a Sawzall. Yeah, so the Sawzall, bad idea. It chewed up the end of the PVC because it was jumping around so much. So instead I'm going to break out the trusty old miter saw here.
Alright, back to our materials.
Oh, what, for going around
we also
the
need a bag of
circumference of
play
the
sand and some
garbage
blue
bag?
painter's tape. We can add an auxiliary fence with a stop block to the miter saw. The stop block creates a fixed distance from one side of the saw blade, allowing us to cut repeatable lengths without introducing tiny errors for measuring every time. this stuff because I don't need it. Shit, yeah, that really was only 2 minutes. I thought this was going to be a lot longer. But that's okay. I haven't got the intro yet. So let me... So, text. Intro. Why is that so friggin' gray? Should be white. What if I do red? Let me see. Is that going to make it any better? Bold. Let's increase the font size to 100. It's just so played out. I don't know. Oh yeah, 40 minutes of film for 1 minute. Yeah, that's honestly not that far off. Especially because, you know, being new, I film a whole lot of stuff that hits the cutting room floor. I'm really hoping that as I get more into this and film more, I will have to do less and less takes because my approach to the camera will be different. I will have better idea of where I need to put the camera to get good scenes. You know, so I won't have as much waste. But overfill setting, maybe? Is there one? Let me see if I just need to move it up. Nope, still not. Text in thirds. I'm doing something. I don't know what it is. Yeah, the overfill's not letting me do anything. Let me see if it's caught up with me yet. Awkward little white boy shuffle there. I don't know. I'll have to do a little bit of checking and all that. Let's go ahead and save this before I screw something else up. Yeah, the intro is going to be a minute or two long. Why is it? You silly. Yeah, it's not letting me move. Okay, there's the move. Nope, that's moving the entire thing. There we go. There's got to be something in here that's like, you know, like a transparency or opacity thing that I'm just not seeing. I'm going to be on again tomorrow at about 8 p.m. Central, Mary. So tell Eric and his mom said hello. You have a good night. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you. Yeah, I'm trying to do every Monday and Tuesday will be video editing from 8 to 11 p.m. And then on Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m. I'm going to be doing, like, you know, thumbnail creation and image editing and things like that. And since I'm publishing every other week, probably a lot of it will just be editing and all. I don't know what I'm going to edit tomorrow, though, because I didn't realize I'd get through all this footage and get all this set up tonight. But I'll figure something out. If nothing else, we can do some playing around and learning some stuff and looking for some resources and whatnot. All caps, small caps, start case, lower case, underline, strike through, superscript, subscript. Okay, it's not in there. Vertical scale, line spacing, baseline shift. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you can make it, that'd be great. If you can't, I totally understand. Yeah, Wednesday is my D&D night, so that's why I'm not doing anything there. That's why I'm skipping that day. But good luck and nat 20s to you guys. Thanks for coming, babe. Night night. Hugs. It just looks so friggin' weird, too. Are you heading out too, Bella? That's fine. I appreciate you being here, dear. I'm just going to be playing around with this. I may just go ahead and close down shop and just futz around online or offline then. Or just leave it streaming just so I can get some hours or something. I do not know what I have done to this thing. Normal, options, motion blur, transform. Fit to frame, that's huge. No, I do not want that. There's got to be something in here that I have set. What did I do? What did I do? I really have no idea what I broke. Let's see what the hell. Let's try some other stuff here. Light. Let's see what that does. Nothing. Control Z. Control Z. Okay, that's just not worth messing with. So we'll just move everything back to the start.
So before we get started with our build, because lawn bags can vary in size, we want to take a few measurements to make sure that the bag is going to fit the stand that we build. Originally I thought I'd try and be slick and extrapolate the stand size from the size of an empty bag. But then I realized I was way overcomplicating things, and the best, most efficient, and most accurate way would probably be just to measure a full bag.
So to make that... Oop. No, I'm going to do... Well, since I'm here, I've got all that edited. I'm going to do some looking to see if I can... What kind of settings I can tweak as far as making hit film work better. Hit film. Pauses. Without focus. I would say pauses focus. Let's see. Sometimes feature, I don't know if it controls any pause. Yeah. Yeah, apparently I can't do anything about that. That's a little bit annoying, but is what it is. No big deal. Oh yeah, I'm back down to 0 viewers, it looks like. I'm still showing you guys in here, which is weird. I still see Mary's gone, but I do still see you, Wit. Eh. I don't know, I just really appreciate you guys taking the time to spend an hour or two with me in here. Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna need to look at this YouTube. At least I know it's possible. That's good. Sorry, I got a new comment on the video, on the previous video, so I'm gonna go out here and reply to that real quick since nobody's here watching. Alright, let's see here. I don't know how my watch time is going down, but that's okay. Alright, so now I know where I'm at as far as the video goes. Now I need to start planning what I'm going to do in the future here. So first of all, we'll save this. Comments, let's see, video projects, lawn bag stand, assets, documents. This is VO text for the stop block. Get rid of that. Hexadecimal colors. Do this, save this. We will go back to video. Oh shit, I don't have that anymore. So I'm going to call this, we'll just put this right in here. Maybe go in common assets or something. New folder, documents. And we will call this, so these are some of the notes that I had as far as what I can do after the first video to improve. So, let's see, post first vid growth opportunities. Okay, close that down, get that out of the way. That's just a little blurb for Instagram that I wrote about, who am I, what am I doing. Okay, so what we're doing here is, so the scenes. I need to have the intro, and that's going to be state the problem. Okay, introduce self right off the bat. State the problem. Show solution. Okay, title card. And next we go material list. Material list. Just, things like the bag size. Or, yeah, bag size is fine. PVC lengths, other goods. Material list, cutting. Oop, I need to put this on the main screen. Sorry. Cutting materials. Let's see. Recip. Oops. Miter saw. Stop block. So once we've got all that cut, I guess we're going to get into the bending PVC section, which is, you know, heating the sand and forming the bends. And then we're going to assembly. Building the rings, which will be permanent. Adding the legs, which are removable for storage. And drilling the legs. The string for the clips, adding the clips, demonstration, insert bag, apply clips. Actually, we'll do assemble. Then insert a bag. So, yeah, assemble from storage. Apply the clips. Scoop up leaves. Bag leaves. Well, before we can do the demonstration, though, we've got to pile the leaves. So we're going to call this pile leaves. Oh yeah, material list. Bag size PVC. Helium infused. Not helium infused. So. Let's see, the demonstration and I guess the outro, right? Okay, somewhere in here I need to, somewhere in the middle, I need to find a boring part where I can, so perhaps while I'm gluing up the rings, I can place for like sub bell. Back at you. So in the outro, what am I going to do? I'll just leave that alone because I don't even... So what is it that I need to actually still film? So I need to film this. I'm going to need to film all of this. Film all of this. I could go ahead and film that. Yeah, I'm actually going to have to film that so for the intro. Because I'm going to do some like T dives into the leaves. Obviously, I need to film the demonstration and the outro. Man, I got a lot to film yet, don't I? Wow. Okay, well, I guess I'm going to leave it here for tonight. Coming up on 11 o'clock anyway. Huh. Yeah, that's pretty good. I got a lot to do. That's okay, though. All of this will probably come together pretty easily, especially once I get moving. I got several days to do it, especially now the days have gotten longer. I can film after I get off work at 5, so that'll be good. Do have a deadline that I need to be done with some projects this week, so I may end up working a little bit late, so may or may not get to the filming. I'd like to get something filmed for tomorrow. Maybe I'll get the PVC bending filmed for tomorrow, the heating of the sand, the forming the bends or something like that, or at least the heating of the sand portion. And then we can figure out the transitions in between. But yeah, I think that I will say that. I'm going to go to my video projects, bags, assets, documents. We'll call this the shot list, even though it's really not. We'll just call it an outline. Project outline. We'll leave that. I'm going to save this again just to make sure. Close that sucker up. And oh, thanks to the people who showed up. At some point I had four people in here, so awesome. But right now we're at 0. No big deal. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you all for being here. Special thank to Whitney and to Mary Ellen for coming in and spending a lot of time with me and letting me just interact with them in the chat. Appreciate that, ladies. You all are, big ol' heart. Thank you. All right, guys. You all be good. Take it easy. Be back tomorrow between 8 and 11. Not sure exactly what we'll do because, like I said, don't have much to edit. But we can figure out something. I'm sure we've got some. We can maybe go ahead and start working on the thumbnail a little bit ahead of time. So we'll get it figured out. Take it easy. Already starting to yawn. Excuse me. All right. Have a good night. Peace.